Welcome to the Vintage Tales channel. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this one. Today we delve into some of the most dramatic and pivotal moments of World War II. On June 6, 1944, the largest amphibious invasion in history took place as Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, France. Known as D-Day, this monumental operation involved over 156,000 troops from the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and other Allied nations. The goal was to liberate Western Europe from Nazi occupation. Facing fortified German defenses, the soldiers endured heavy fire, obstacles, and brutal combat. The courage and sacrifice of these men turned the tide of the war, making D-Day a pivotal moment in the Allied victory. The invasion's complexity was staggering, involving meticulous planning and coordination. The Allies used deception tactics, including Operation Bodyguard, to mislead the Germans about the invasion location. Paratroopers dropped behind enemy lines to capture key positions and disrupt German communications. The naval bombardment that preceded the landings aimed to soften the defenses, but many bunkers and fortifications remained intact, leading to intense battles on the beaches. The bravery of individual soldiers, such as those who scaled the cliffs at Pointe du Hoc and those who fought through the killing zones of Omaha Beach, exemplified the relentless spirit that drove the Allies to eventual victory. The Battle of Stalingrad, lasting from August 1942 to February 1943, was one of the deadliest engagements in World War II. German forces, led by General Friedrich Paulus, attacked the Soviet city of Stalingrad, resulting in fierce urban warfare. The Soviets, under General Vasily Chuikov, mounted a determined defense, fighting street by street. The harsh winter, combined with Soviet counterattacks, eventually encircled and trapped the German Sixth Army. Stalingrad marked a turning point in the war, with the Axis forces suffering a catastrophic defeat and the Soviet Union beginning its westward push towards Berlin. Stalingrad's brutal urban combat saw entire districts turned into fortresses, with soldiers fighting for control of buildings, factories, and even sewer systems. The city's residents were caught in the crossfire, enduring bombardments and severe shortages of food and supplies. The Soviet strategy of drawing the Germans into a protracted battle in the city's ruins proved effective, wearing down the attackers. The encirclement of Paulus's forces, known as Operation Uranus, was a masterstroke of Soviet strategy, trapping over 300,000 German soldiers. The subsequent surrender of the Sixth Army was a devastating blow to Nazi Germany, shifting the momentum of the Eastern Front in favor of the Allies. In a bid to hasten the end of World War II, the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. The bombing of Hiroshima on August 6th obliterated the city, instantly killing tens of thousands. Just 3 days later, Nagasaki faced a similar fate. The devastation was unprecedented, with both cities suffering immense destruction and long-term radiation effects. These bombings forced Japan's surrender, effectively ending the war, but also raising profound ethical questions about nuclear warfare and its devastating impact on civilian populations. The decision to use atomic bombs was influenced by the anticipated high casualties of a conventional invasion of Japan. The shockwaves of the blasts obliterated buildings, and the intense heat caused fires that swept through the cities. Survivors faced horrific injuries, radiation sickness, and long-term health effects. The psychological impact was profound, with the bombings marking a new era of warfare. The ethical debates surrounding the use of atomic weapons continue to this day, highlighting the tension between military necessity and humanitarian considerations. The bombings also led to the establishment of international efforts to control nuclear weapons and prevent their future use. From June 3rd to 7, 1942, the Battle of Midway became a critical turning point in the Pacific Theater. The United States, having deciphered Japanese communication codes, anticipated the attack and prepared an ambush. The ensuing battle saw the destruction of 4 Japanese aircraft carriers and a heavy cruiser, crippling Japan's naval power. This victory allowed the United States to shift from defensive operations to offensive strategies, paving the way for future successes in the Pacific and ultimately contributing significantly to the Allied victory in World War II. The intelligence breakthrough that enabled the US to anticipate the Japanese attack was crucial. Codebreakers at Station Hypo, led by Commander Joseph Rochefort, cracked the Japanese naval codes, revealing Midway as the target. Admiral Chester Nimitz used this information to position his forces strategically, setting the stage for a decisive ambush. The battle itself featured intense aerial combat, with American dive bombers delivering devastating blows to the Japanese carriers. The loss of experienced pilots and irreplaceable aircraft severely weakened Japan's ability to project power in the Pacific, shifting the balance in favor of the Allies. In October 1942, the sands of North Africa witnessed a decisive clash between Allied forces led by General Bernard Montgomery and the Axis troops commanded by Field Marshal Erwin Rommel. The Battle of El Alamein was a crucial victory for the Allies, halting the Axis advance into Egypt and securing the Suez Canal. Montgomery's well-planned offensive involved artillery barrages and infantry assaults that overwhelmed Rommel's forces. The victory at El Alamein boosted Allied morale and marked the beginning of the end for the Axis presence in North Africa. El Alamein's significance lay in its strategic location, controlling access to the Middle Eastern oil fields and the Suez Canal. The battle involved massive tank engagements and artillery duels in the harsh desert environment. Montgomery's strategy relied on meticulous preparation, including the build-up of supplies and reinforcements. The use of minefields and defensive fortifications played a crucial role in blunting Rommel's counterattacks. The victory provided a much-needed morale boost to the Allies and demonstrated that the Axis forces could be defeated in a major land battle, paving the way for further Allied advances in the Mediterranean. In the summer and fall of 1940, the skies over Britain became the arena for the first major military campaign fought entirely by air forces. The German Luftwaffe launched a relentless bombing campaign aimed at destroying Britain's Royal Air Force, RAF, and paving the way for an invasion. Despite being outnumbered, the RAF utilized radar technology and strategic defenses to withstand the assault. The courage of the British pilots, famously referred to as the few, and the resilience of the civilian population under constant bombardment led to a critical victory that prevented a German invasion and boosted Allied confidence. The Battle of Britain saw the development and implementation of innovative air defense strategies, including the use of radar to detect incoming raids and direct fighter intercepts. The Luftwaffe targeted airfields, radar stations, and cities in an attempt to cripple Britain's air defenses and morale. Despite sustaining heavy losses, the RAF's effective use of tactics, such as the dowding system for controlling fighter operations, allowed them to counter the larger German force. The resilience of the British people, exemplified by their endurance during the Blitz, and the indomitable spirit of the RAF pilots, played a crucial role in thwarting the German plans for invasion. In February 1945, Allied forces conducted a controversial bombing raid on the German city of Dresden. Over a 3-day period, waves of bombers dropped incendiary bombs, creating a firestorm that devastated the city and caused massive civilian casualties. Dresden, known for its cultural heritage, was almost completely destroyed. The raid sparked intense debate over the ethics of targeting civilian areas and the proportionality of the attack, reflecting the complex moral dilemmas faced in wartime. The destruction of Dresden involved a combination of high explosive and incendiary bombs designed to maximize the damage and create a firestorm. The resulting conflagration engulfed large parts of the city, destroying homes, cultural landmarks, and infrastructure. The death toll was significant, with estimates ranging from 25,000 to 35,000 people. The raid on Dresden became one of the most controversial Allied actions of the war, raising questions about the necessity and justification of such extensive bombing of civilian areas. The debate over the raid continues to this day, reflecting the broader ethical challenges of strategic bombing during World War II. In December 1944, Germany launched its last major offensive in the west, aiming to split the Allied forces and capture the vital Belgian port of Antwerp. Known as the Battle of the Bulge, the surprise attack through the Ardennes forest caught the Allies off guard, leading to fierce and desperate fighting in freezing conditions. American forces, including the 101st Airborne Division, heroically held their ground at Bastogne. The Allies eventually repelled the German advance, depleting Nazi resources and hastening the end of the war in Europe. The Battle of the Bulge involved massive troop movements and some of the most intense fighting of the war. The Germans initially made significant gains, creating a bulge in the Allied front lines. However, the tenacity of the American defenders, particularly at key locations like Bastogne, slowed the German advance. The harsh winter conditions added to the difficulties, with soldiers enduring freezing temperatures, snow, and ice. The eventual Allied counteroffensive, supported by reinforcements and air support, turned the tide, resulting in a decisive victory that weakened German forces and set the stage for the final push into Germany. Thank you for watching this episode of Vintage Tales. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories from history. Until next time, stay curious.